Welcome to the Peabody Business Podcast. Now, my name is Chris Ryder. I serve as Chief of Staff to Mayor Ted Betancourt, and I also serve as the city's business liaison. I'm very happy today to be joined by Scott DeCost. Scott is the general manager of the Northshore Mall. Scott, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, Scott, I couldn't wait to get you on because, as most people know, Northshore Mall is a huge part of the city's economy and economic development. It's the city's biggest taxpayer, the city's largest employer, and with over 140 retail stores and restaurants, it's a big reason why many people come to Peabody and visit Peabody from outside of the city, and also the residents get to enjoy the mall as well. Scott, my first question for you is, how has the Northshore Mall managed to buck somewhat of a national trend and continue thriving in the current retail environment?
Yeah, we've been fortunate as far as Northshore Mall is considered a top-tier mall in the shopping center industry. And top-tier malls are actually, it's a bit of a misnomer that malls are maybe failing or dying. There's local malls and regional malls that are definitely struggling. But call it the more top-tier or Class A malls are thriving, doing very well as long as they make the right investments into the property and continue to grow in their offerings. So as far as Northshore Mall specifically, Simon as a company, Simon Property Group, they made a very concerted and purposeful effort to reinvest in their top-tier malls, say maybe over the past 7 to 10 years approximate. That reinvestment was to make the malls as diverse and dynamic as they can to really match the, your shoppers' evolving needs and demands.
Yep.
And to create that diversity, you definitely have to have your strong retail presence. That's a given. But the energy of a mall really comes from adding more to the offerings. The shoppers now, of course, they have so many competing ways to make their purchases. So you want to create an environment that draws them in more than just the shopping. So the focus was on dining, having interesting dining options, whether it's a full sit-down restaurant, fast casual food, or even an enhanced food court. And entertainment is a big component. There's so many unique entertainment concepts that keep rolling out, and the malls with the right reinvestment will attract those to your center, and then that creates that dynamic environment that then continues to grow your sales volume and your foot traffic and really appeal to your local market as far as the go-to place in your community.
Sure. Well, let's talk about specifics. The last 2 years at Northshore Mall has seen significant, dramatic expansion, and specifically in some of the areas you're talking about.
Right.
So talk about some of that. Talk about the promenade. Talk about the restaurants. Talk about Lifetime. Talk about some of the things that have really driven the expansion in the last 2 years to get to where Simon has determined malls need to be in order to match the tastes of the contemporary shopper.
No, it's perfect. And you said the right thing. You said the promenade. That's what we're most proud about, and that's where all the reinvestment has gone to. So it might have this not 100% correct, but say 7 years ago is when the redevelopment, reinvestment in Northshore started. Maybe it was 2017 or 18. A phased project. I wasn't with the mall at the time when it started. But the first phase was to create kind of a streetscape concept, an exterior-facing lifestyle center attached to the enclosed mall, and we call it the promenade. So that started with, okay, let's integrate some more restaurants. So starting from the cheesecake end of the mall, they added tenants such as Double Bull, Not Your Average Joe's, Tony C's, Amigos, and a little community stage for events and such. So that was the first phase. Yeah. Proved to be effective. So we'll call it phase 2 was more involved. That had to do with the demolition of the former Sears building.
Right.
So Sears was attached, of course, to the mall. Demoing the building made way for, as you mentioned, Lifetime Fitness, 125,000 square foot, fantastic fitness facility sitting in our parking field. That phase included converting the Sears Auto to a Tesla dealership.
That's right.
So that cemented down well. Lifetime Fitness has, I think their current number is almost 10,000 members. It doesn't even make sense to me. It's a fantastic number. And they're not necessarily all visitors to the mall, but they're visitors to the parking field,
sure.
which a strong percentage are going to come into the mall, as long as we have the right offerings. Yeah. So then phase 3, to your point, really took off as far as adding more retailers and dining and even services over the past 2 years. So I've been at the mall for just over 2 years, and it's just been fast and furious since I've been there. That last phase of the development included adding really a neat mix of, I'll name a few of them, LL Bean,
Yeah.
Game Time Bowling, Our House Furniture, some fast casual food like Sweet Green,
Sweet
and
greens.
Honey
Very
Grow.
popular. Honey Grow,
and-
yes.
and Big Chicken. So
Yes.
very interesting uses that aren't in the market. What else? Immersive Game Box is another entertainment use,
seen
like
it.
a virtual gaming rooms. And then we just added this summer Van Leeuwen Ice Cream.
Okay.
So that really rounded out the streetscape redevelopment with just really the right mix of retail and restaurants and entertainment even.
Sure.
We have a couple of spots to fill, smaller spots, but we'll say that the redevelopment has been a success as far as gaining the attention of some of the nationals that have come.
Yep.
We're seeing the visitation to all of them, leaps and bounds. That parking field is chock full. Could be bigger,
Yeah.
but you have what you have to work with. So that's what I'll say has really driven the success for us in recent times. And the way I'll put it is we've kind of got the best of both worlds where there's what they call, you have enclosed shopping centers, which we have, the enclosed shopping center, climate controlled, have all the, unique and strong retail offerings inside the mall. But then we have also a component to the mall, which would be, call it the lifestyle center or the outward facing restaurants and entertainment. So you have the best of both worlds as far as what that shopper wants. So they want to go into a mall and spend some time, or do they want to just kind of a quick hit to that restaurant or entertainment?
Right.
So we have that option. And if I may expound upon and brag a little bit, we have even more than that in the sense that our entire campus has so many more offerings different than what I've spoken about. Whereas if you've driven through, I'll call it our campus or our, call it that. For your banking needs, we have Chase Bank. For health needs, we have a Convenient MD, sports medicine.
Yes.
For your grocery needs, we have a Shaw's. And then opening this year under construction currently is a 140-room Residence Inn by Marriott.
Yes.
So what's exciting for me as a mall manager and the company, that we're really providing kind of a one-stop destination for our community for so many of their needs.
Right.
You can really spend a whole day there and actually satisfy a lot of things that you need in your life and
Right.
or wants and entertainment.
Well, I like what you said about the best of both worlds. The fact of the matter is the promenade and the restaurants that have sprung up over there, and many of them have an outdoor seating component, or at least open air, where you can sit by an open window on a nice warm summer or even a fall afternoon, evening. But in the depths of February, January, February, you can go inside and shop and be comfortable. And unfortunately, you can't say that about some of the open air malls that are strictly open air. I'm not going to go to an open air mall in February. I don't like the cold. I don't like to be uncomfortable. So I'm very appreciative of the fact that you do get the best of both worlds at the Northshore Mall. And that's why that I shop there and spend time there and do grocery shopping there, go to Sports Medicine North for my shoulder needs and my those type of things. So I'm very impressed with the way it's gone. Before we get to some of the things that are coming down the pike at the mall, the future and some of the new offerings, I was hoping you could talk about how the mall collaborates with the city. Of course, I mentioned it's the city's biggest taxpayer and biggest employer, so there's necessarily a relationship that has to happen. Talk about you as general manager of the mall, how you interact with the city to make sure that your needs are being met and the needs of the city in terms of safety, health, all those things are met.
No, I'm glad you asked, because that's a key component that has really stood out to me in my 2 years here, 2 years and a couple months here in Peabody. I live in Rochester, New Hampshire, so I've dealt with mostly New Hampshire cities. But the partnership with the city, all departments in the city, and life safety and such, has been amazing. Like, I'm uniquely impressed by the partnership that was built probably with my predecessor, the general manager, but I've been embraced and I'll go through it a little bit. Amazing communication and partnership with all departments. I can truly say and feel that the success that we're feeling at the mall would not happen without that partnership, without it being pretty well oiled. And I'll say that it does seem well oiled from my perspective, in that with all the store build outs, restaurants, or what have you, building department is intimately involved. And as there's construction issues or questions, there's just open dialogue, and we get through it pretty expediently. And I will say, we're always highly focused on an opening date for a tenant. The earlier, the better. And I can say that the city has never been a roadblock to that. Same with the health department. They're just as intimately involved, especially with the restaurant uses. And sometimes we've got to navigate unique situations. But again, open communication. I can make a phone call. We can have open dialogue. We can disagree, but it's never contentious. So you get the building department, health department, fire department, fantastic. Chief Dowling and the inspectors, as far as when we need to do the final inspections for a store opening, they don't hold us up. I mean, they make sure we're safe, and they'll call it out. And I respect that all day long, because we ultimately, much as we care about opening the store on time, we care about the safety of our staff, the mall employees, customers. Even the mayor's office, whether I'm navigating liquor licenses and trying to just get information on what's available to us, what's the process, so I can educate a restaurateur coming in. Again, that line of communication is immediate, and I didn't get that at other cities and such. So it really resonates with me, and I want to give some kudos to you. This might sound simple, but something as recent as you giving me a phone call when early morning there was some water main leak, and you kindly gave me a call, just, hey, Scott, heads up. I don't know if this is affecting you or if it's on your property. Just want you to know what's happening in case you're not aware. That's huge. You wouldn't get that from other cities. And I think that's amazing. So thank you again for that.
Well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that, and I know our city department heads appreciate that too. And it's how much the mayor values the relationship with the mall, the city, our community. And I'm glad that you feel it's reflected through your workings with the administration and with the various department heads.
Sure. And if I could add,
Please.
because I don't want to miss them, it's not so much having to do with store build-outs and construction, but our relationship with the police department is just equally strong, if not stronger.
Great, you're reading my mind. Talk about working with the police department and why it's such an important partnership. I think some of it's obvious, and talk about some of that.
Yeah, kind of what's really unique to the mall, at least unique to my experience in mall management, is we do have a outreach or substation in the mall. It's been there before my time.
Police substation.
A police substation, correct, yes. Officer Falco generally mans the substation. So what's amazing is we have a 40-hour-a-week police presence should we need it. He's very active as far as just community engagement, and then he's there for our security team to use as a resource should we need that level. So that alone, by itself, is fantastic. But then the collaboration that we have with Chief Griffin and his entire team. In just my 2 years, we've done 2 active drills, whether that be civil unrest or I don't think we've done an active shooter drill, but we've done some tabletops of that. So whenever myself and my security director reaches out and say, hey, we really feel we want to make sure we can all go through the paces to mock a situation that could be something that we need to react to at a minute's notice.
Yeah.
And not only does it help the police department go through their reps, but it helps my team, security team, management team know how to respond in the best, most efficient way to, for the safety for everybody in the mall. Right. So, I can pick up the phone anytime, call the chief, call some of the captains. They're readily available, amazing resource. We had some issues with Tesla protesting, and again, the police department was proactive to come to me. We discussed how best to handle it that would protect our interests, but allow them to do what they need to do. And just a couple examples of that relationship is just as strong with the PD as everyone else I just mentioned.
That's good to hear. And I think how important is it? Let's be honest, if shoppers don't feel like they're in a safe environment, that's one of the first things that could lead to a mall suffering in terms of business.
Correct.
So shoppers need to feel that they're safe from the time they park their car and walk to the mall to the time that they finish their meal, buy their last item of clothing, and get back in their car. And I know that the mall has many procedures in place. It has its own security team, which I know is outstanding. But I also know it benefits from partnership with the Peabody Police Department, including the substation that you mentioned, the relationship you have with the chief and his team. So thank you for mentioning that as well. Well, I want to talk about the future of the mall. Can you tease a few upcoming attractions, some new businesses that might be coming or eyeing the mall.
Yeah, I can, definitely. The good news is it's ever growing, so I've got a handful I can share, and then there's others behind the scenes that'll probably be soon to share.
Sure.
So again, great position to be in versus speaking of closures or anything like that. So we're speaking progress. One of the more dramatic ones for us that will be a needle mover in terms of foot traffic is we have Dick's House of Sports that will take over the former Nordstrom anchor building. So, it was tough to lose a Nordstrom. They closed many of them throughout the country. They cater to a select piece of the market, and it was a strong brand or retailer to have. But Dick's House of Sports is going to attract just such a wider demographic. And the House of Sports concept, if you're not familiar, it's more than just their retail. It's all experiential, whether it's a climbing wall inside the building, I think maybe golf simulators and batting cages. So they're doing kind of what we're doing as a mall as far as you got to be more than just retail purchases. You have to be a bit experiential and let people be entertained as they're shopping.
Sure.
So that's going to be a bit of a lead time, though. They're a year out from opening. So,
maybe
we
fall
all have to be patient.
2026.
Yeah, it's looked like end of 26, but it could actually trail into the beginning of 27.
That's
which
a big build-out, right, Scott?
Correct, yes. I haven't even seen the full construction plans yet.
Right.
It's possible they might even add an exterior turf field because they do something on exterior turf fields. So we'll have to see what that floor plan looks like.
This area, not only the city of Peabody, which has a well-known sports legacy,
right?
But the area in general is just heavy with youth sports leagues. So I think it's just going to be a great fit.
Yeah, well said.
God bless Nordstrom's, but at the same time, we can't wait. And most people just can't wait to see the new Dick's World of Sports.
Yeah, definitely. We're all excited. And
what else?
I wish I could say it's coming sooner. We have, I don't think we mentioned this. Maybe, yeah, I did. The Residence Inn by Marriott. Yep.
Where the former Logan Express property was. Now, Logan Express was a good experiment. I think it did pretty well.
Yeah, it actually worked out very well for them, which they re-signed with Simon over at Liberty Tree Mall. Once we had to displace them. Yes,
right,
correct.
So people going in Logan Airport don't have to go much further, just down 114 to get from the former place where Logan Express is to the new Logan Express. But Residence Inn by Marriott, obviously a known commodity, a very successful franchise.
Right.
Opening time for them predicted?
Yeah, I mean, the construction, pretty much all the framing is up now. The shell's up. If you drive by, you can kind of see it fully formed almost in a sense. And I think we're looking at mid next year at this point, through the winter months, because now that they can work probably more enclosed. And what'll be fun about that for, integrating it to the mall, it's a bit offset, but we're going to create some pedestrian walkways to allow those staying at the hotel to be able to walk safely into the mall and be able to have that cross shopping.
Right.
And
Very nice.
So that infrastructure will be built to make that accommodating as well. And then we have an Old Navy currently under construction. So they'll be in just off our food court. They should open next couple months.
All right.
We have a Sally's Beauty. They should open next week. And yeah, I think that covers the ones I can announce currently.
Excellent.
But we really do have one or two other eateries that likely to be announced soon. So yeah, even more exciting things to be able to announce. That's the fun part.
Talk a little bit about sustainability and environmental responsibility in the mall. Northshore Mall and Simon Malls in general, Simon Properties are known to be good corporate citizens of the cities and the towns in which they're in. Talk about some of the things you do with respect to sustainability and keeping an eye on the environment at the mall.
No, great question. Just really kind of on a top level, as far as recycling goes, we do have, like many establishments, our compactors, trash, but we do have cardboard recycled compactors, make a point to compact them so that we accumulate as much as we can and the pulls are reduced. And then, of course, you recycle the cardboard. I think it's about a year and a half ago, we instituted a compost program. We didn't have it previously. So for all our restaurants, especially since we're adding so many restaurants, now we have, it's voluntary, meaning we're offering the bins for the tenants to bring it to where our compost bins are. We got we do have a lot of participation. Some restaurants have their own compost program. That's why we're not requiring them to utilize ours. Sure. But yeah, that's really worked out well because it keeps it out of the waste stream. It's composted, taken off and reutilized by farms or what have you. And then in addition to other sustainability focus every time we do a project, whether it's a lighting upgrade for the interior of the mall, exterior lighting, we're always looking at energy efficiency first. It saves our dollars on the utility costs, but it's also, reduce your consumption. And that's really the name of the game for whether it's an HVAC unit, lighting, what have you, any of those kind of infrastructure projects always have an eye towards sustainability.
Sure. Speaking of being good corporate citizens, for many years, Simon has hosted at the mall the Simon Youth Foundation, kind of colloquially known as the Peabody Learning Academy, which is a high school option for those who may have struggled in a more mainstream college prep environment. Talk a little bit about the importance of the Peabody Learning Academy and what it means in terms of Simon's mission.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's something I had an experience before coming here as well, where Simon as a company established the Simon Youth Foundation, and I can't recall how many across the country, but they've established, working with communities, these learning academies for non-traditional learning for students who aren't able to thrive in a typical high school setting. So Simon, like Northshore Mall, for Northshore specifically, partnered with the city of Peabody, I believe 17 years ago. I think this past graduating season may have been the 17th. And so I've experienced 2 of them so far. And the team there it's so dedicated. Right now it's Administrator Kevin Tanglis. He's amazing. The teachers there obviously are super engaged with what they're doing and really take it to heart that these students are actually thriving underneath their kind of unique educational experience. So each year I think they have, say, give or take 20 students a year that graduate.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that those that graduate are the numbers that were there for the full year, meaning their graduation rate is pretty strong.
Yes.
And I know you've attended some of the, or maybe all of the graduation ceremonies, but it really hits home when you go to those because a majority of the students will actually speak when they receive their diploma on stage, and they hear the stories and the appreciation they have and how they feel they turned their life around with the help of Kevin and the teachers. Really brings it home how important it is and how those students may not have reached that level of success somewhere else.
That's right.
So you feel like it's almost like stolen valor. It's like, I know I'm not the one educating them, but you feel good that they're in our house and they're in an environment that is conducive to them, reaching their diploma, and that we're able to hold the graduation and it's well attended, and it's a really feel good moment for us.
Well, it's very well said, and I have attended many of them every year. They graduate 15 to 20 students who may not have otherwise graduated high school, and to see the difference that makes in their lives, it's so clear that it makes a difference, and there's been so many success stories. And I just should mention that Kevin Tanglis every year brings probably 10 students from the Learning Academy to Senior Day at Brooksby Farm, which is the mayor's free lunch for our senior community at the farm so they can see the farm, enjoy the outdoors, have a great lunch, listen to music, dance, etc. And these kids are a godsend to guys like me who are helping to organize this event, set up tables, set up chairs. We get usually just about 450 senior citizens who attend, and to keep them all safe and to keep them happy and fed for lunch and service. We couldn't do it without them.
Oh, that's great.
They're just so helpful, and they're so happy to be there. They're really, every year, it's a pleasure to work with them. And on behalf of the mayor, we're very, very happy to have them, and we feel very privileged to have them.
Oh, that's great. I wasn't aware of that. That's a nice
a nice volunteer thing that they do every year. Scott DeCost is the general manager of the Northshore Mall, City of Peabody, and continues to be a mall worth watching in terms of expansion and creating a more holistic experience for shoppers with food, with entertainment, and of course with traditional retail options. Scott, I want to thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for this time. This is fantastic.
Welcome to Peabody, Massachusetts, a city of rich history.